If you're 70 years old and you love your morning cup of coffee, I need you to listen closely because what I'm about to share might change how you think about that daily ritual. There's been so much confusion about whether coffee is helping or harming your heart at this stage of life. And today, I'm cutting through the noise to give you the truth, based on the latest research. This isn't about scaring you or taking away something you enjoy. This is about empowering you with knowledge so you can make the best decision for your heart health. Now, before we dive deeper, I want to hear from you. Are you someone who can't imagine starting your day without coffee? Or have you given it up because you were worried about your heart? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love hearing your stories. Let me start by saying this. If you're 70 and you've been drinking coffee for years without any problems, I have some really encouraging news for you. The relationship between coffee and heart health isn't as straightforward as many people think. And recent studies have actually shown some surprising benefits that might make you feel better about enjoying your daily brew. But like everything in medicine, context matters. Your individual health status, how much you're drinking, and how your body responds all play crucial roles in whether coffee is a friend or foe to your heart. Let's talk about what happens in your body when you drink coffee at 70. Your cardiovascular system at this age has been through decades of work. Your heart has beaten billions of times. Your blood vessels have transported countless gallons of blood. And yes, there have been changes. Your arteries may have stiffened slightly. Your heart muscle might not pump quite as vigorously as it did when you were 30. This is normal aging. But here's what's fascinating. Coffee contains hundreds of bioactive compounds, and many of them interact with your cardiovascular system in ways that researchers are still discovering. The most well-known compound in coffee is caffeine. And this is where most people's concerns come from. Caffeine is a stimulant. It increases your heart rate temporarily. It can raise your blood pressure for a short period after you drink it. And if you're someone with certain heart conditions, this might sound alarming. But here's what the research actually shows. For most people, even at 70, moderate coffee consumption is not only safe, but may actually be protective for your heart. A major study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology followed hundreds of thousands of people and found something remarkable. Those who drank 2 to 3 cups of coffee per day had the lowest risk of heart disease and dangerous heart rhythms compared to those who drank no coffee at all. This included people in their 70s. Another study from the American Heart Association found that coffee consumption was associated with a reduced risk of heart failure. Not increased risk, reduced risk. This challenges everything many people have been told about coffee and heart health. So why is coffee potentially beneficial for your heart? It's not just about the caffeine. Coffee is loaded with antioxidants, particularly polyphenols and chlorogenic acids. These compounds fight inflammation in your body. Inflammation is one of the key drivers of heart disease, especially as we age. When you drink coffee, these antioxidants go to work, reducing oxidative stress and protecting the lining of your blood vessels. This is the endothelium, and keeping it healthy is crucial for preventing atherosclerosis, which is the buildup of plaque in your arteries. Coffee also appears to improve how your body handles glucose and insulin. Even though you might think of coffee as just a morning pick-me-up, it actually influences your metabolism in meaningful ways. Studies have shown that regular coffee drinkers have a lower risk of type 2 diabetes, and since diabetes is a major risk factor for heart disease, this metabolic benefit extends to your cardiovascular health as well. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But what about irregular heartbeats? What if I have atrial fibrillation or I'm worried about developing it? This is a really important question because AFib becomes more common as we age, and many people have been told to avoid coffee if they have this condition. Here's what the science says. Multiple recent studies have found that moderate coffee consumption does not increase the risk of atrial fibrillation. In fact, some research suggests it might even be protective. A study in JAMA Internal Medicine found that each additional cup of coffee consumed per day was associated with a 3% lower risk of developing an irregular heartbeat. But, and this is crucial, I need you to understand that everyone is different. Some people are more sensitive to caffeine than others. This sensitivity can be genetic. There's actually a gene called CYP1A2 that determines how quickly your body metabolizes caffeine. If you're a slow metabolizer, Caffeine stays in your system longer, and you might be more likely to experience side effects like jitteriness, sleep disruption, or heart palpitations. If you notice that coffee makes your heart race uncomfortably, or you feel palpitations after drinking it, that's your body telling you something important. Listen to it. The timing of your coffee also matters more at 70 than it might have when you were younger. Drinking coffee late in the day can interfere with your sleep, and poor sleep is absolutely terrible for your heart. Sleep is when your body repairs itself, when your blood pressure drops, when your heart gets a chance to recover from the day's demands. If coffee is keeping you up at night or reducing your sleep quality, the negative effects from sleep deprivation could outweigh any benefits the coffee itself provides. My recommendation is to enjoy your coffee in the morning and early afternoon, but cut yourself off by 2 or 3 p.m. to protect your sleep. Let's talk about how much is too much. The sweet spot, according to research, seems to be 2 to 4 cups per day. This is where most studies find the cardiovascular benefits. Going beyond this, especially beyond 6 cups a day, starts to show diminishing returns and potentially some risks. At very high doses, caffeine can chronically elevate blood pressure and increase stress hormones like cortisol, which isn't good for your heart over time. But 2 to 4 cups? For most people at 70, this appears to be not just safe, but potentially beneficial. What about the type of coffee you're drinking? This actually matters more than most people realize. Black coffee or coffee with a small amount of milk is very different from those sugary coffee drinks loaded with whipped cream and flavored syrups. If your daily coffee habit includes 20 grams of added sugar and several hundred extra calories, you're undermining any heart benefits the coffee itself might provide. Sugar and excess calories contribute to weight gain, insulin resistance, inflammation, and ultimately heart disease. Keep your coffee simple. If you need a little sweetness, consider a small amount of natural sweetener, or get used to the taste of coffee with less sugar over time. Your heart will thank you. The preparation method also influences how coffee affects your heart. Unfiltered coffee, like French press or espresso, contains compounds called diterpenes, specifically cafestol and kawiol, which can raise LDL cholesterol levels. If you have high cholesterol or you're at risk for heart disease, using a paper filter when you brew your coffee removes most of these compounds. Filtered coffee doesn't have the same cholesterol-raising effect. It's a small detail that can make a meaningful difference. Now let's address some specific situations. If you have high blood pressure, should you drink coffee? This is nuanced. Coffee can cause a temporary spike in blood pressure, especially if you don't drink it regularly. However, people who drink coffee habitually tend to develop tolerance to this effect. Studies show that regular coffee drinkers don't have higher average blood pressure than non-drinkers. If your blood pressure is well controlled on medication and you've been drinking coffee without problems, there's usually no reason to stop. But if your blood pressure is uncontrolled, or you're just starting blood pressure medication, it's worth discussing with your doctor. They might suggest monitoring your blood pressure at home to see how coffee affects you personally. If you've had a heart attack or you have coronary artery disease, the guidance is similar. The research doesn't support the old recommendation to completely avoid coffee. In fact, some studies suggest that moderate coffee consumption after a heart attack is associated with better long-term outcomes. But again, this needs to be individualized. If you experience chest pain or discomfort after drinking coffee, that's important information for your cardiologist. If you're taking certain medications, coffee can interact with them. Some blood thinners, some antibiotics, some asthma medications, and some psychiatric medications can interact with caffeine. Coffee can make some medications more potent or less effective. This is why it's essential to have an honest conversation with your doctor or pharmacist about your coffee consumption. Don't hide it or assume it doesn't matter. It might. Here's something else I want you to consider: hydration. Coffee has a mild diuretic effect, meaning it makes you urinate more. At 70, staying well hydrated is crucial for your heart and your overall health. Dehydration can make your blood thicker, force your heart to work harder, and even contribute to dizziness and falls. If you're drinking several cups of coffee a day, make sure you're also drinking plenty of water. A good rule of thumb is to drink a glass of water for every cup of coffee you consume. Let me also address decaf coffee, because many people wonder if they should switch. Decaf coffee still contains most of the beneficial antioxidants and polyphenols found in regular coffee. It just has most of the caffeine removed. Studies show that decaf coffee still provides cardiovascular benefits, though perhaps not quite as robust as regular coffee. If you're sensitive to caffeine, if coffee disrupts your sleep, or if your doctor has advised you to limit caffeine, switching to decaf is a great option. You still get to enjoy the ritual and taste of coffee along with many of its health benefits, without the stimulant effects. I also want to talk about coffee and mental health, because this affects your heart too. The connection between mental and cardiovascular health is profound. Depression and anxiety increase your risk of heart disease. They raise stress hormones, increase inflammation, and can lead to unhealthy behaviors. Coffee, in moderate amounts, has been associated with lower rates of depression and better cognitive function in older adults. That morning cup might be doing more than just waking you up. It might be supporting your mood and mental clarity, which indirectly supports your heart health. However, too much caffeine can increase anxiety in some people, so again, it's about finding the right balance for you. Let's be practical about this. If you're 70 and you've never been a coffee drinker, should you start? Honestly, if you don't enjoy coffee or you have no interest in it, you don't need to force yourself to drink it for your heart. There are many other ways to support cardiovascular health. Eating a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats. Staying physically active. Managing stress. Getting good sleep. Maintaining social connections. These things matter enormously. Coffee can be a beneficial part of a heart-healthy lifestyle, but it's not essential. However, if you are a longtime coffee lover and you've been worried that you need to give it up for your heart, I hope this information brings you relief. For most people at 70, continuing to enjoy your coffee in moderation is absolutely fine and may even be helping protect your heart. The key is moderation, paying attention to how your body responds, and keeping the rest of your lifestyle heart-healthy. I want to leave you with this final thought. Your heart has served you faithfully for 7 decades. It deserves your respect and care. That care comes in many forms. It's choosing foods that nourish you. It's moving your body regularly. It's managing stress. It's taking your medications as prescribed. It's getting enough sleep. It's staying connected to people you love. And yes, if you enjoy it, it can include a cup or 2 of coffee each morning. Don't let fear or outdated information rob you of simple pleasures that bring you joy, especially when the science shows they're not harmful and may actually be beneficial. Your health is not about perfection. It's about making informed choices that work for your unique body and circumstances. So enjoy that coffee, savor the flavor, appreciate the ritual, and know that you're taking care of yourself in the process. If you found this information helpful, I'd love it if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel. And please, share your coffee story in the comments. Do you feel better now about your morning routine? Or do you have questions I didn't address? I'm here to help you navigate these decisions with confidence. Take care of your heart, and I'll see you in the next video.